Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, after a Heat win in air quotes, reality check master Tiffany Meeks.
What is that?
Tiffany doing the air quotes because it's a
win.
win. It's a win, but was it a win? You know, who's to say really? We got that voice you hear. The standings. We got the great Siobhan. If you're watching on twitch.tv/Miami Heat Beat, you can see her beautiful face on the right, Tiff in the middle. I'm on the left. Bon, how are you?
Hello, people. I am. It's what I got.
You are.
I am.
Just like the Heat, baby. And
Duncan.
coming in clutch.
What the hell?
Saucy take. Coach Lou. Miami time. Fashionably late. What's up, Lou?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did your sign get smaller? Or did your wall get bigger?
Or did your head get bigger?
Domain expansion.
Hey, look, a lot of things been going on lately. It is.
We ain't see you in a minute. We ain't see you in a minute. Lou, you about to catch it. You about to get all of this. We ain't see you in so long. Look at you. You better tuck your chain in. You better tuck that chain in. I'm coming for it.
Cuban link.
I'm coming for it. I know your grandma gave it to you, but I'm coming for it.
Hey, shout out to grandma, baby. You know what it is.
Shout out to Abuela. Shout out to Hialeah.
No, we moved out of there.
Shout out Virginia. Shout out Illinois.
In the heart.
All day we rep. Yeah. Shout out Kendall. Although I rep South Miami now. I've changed. I've left y'all.
I see a chair in the background. God damn.
Chat's gonna kill you, bro. Chat's gonna kill you. Shout out to
moving.
You're back to not being able to read the sign. Like it's
right.
We're so back.
Let's fix it. There we go. There you go.
You lean in, I can read it.
Bro, because the camera. It's the camera.
You just gotta stick with me here, guys. Please.
If you scoot closer to the camera.
Forward.
I can't.
Let's do the whole show like this.
Y'all gotta use your imagination. I think chat realized what the sign says after Lou very carefully focused and lowered.
That sign says ST. Street.
Man, we gotta, let's talk about the game, man.
Are you sure? I don't know if that's gonna be prettier.
These shows can fly everywhere.
Let me tell you something, guys.
Welcome
to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame Show, where you get content like that. This is a great big family, and we love to rag on each other. And we are gonna, the Heat won, but I don't know, man. Just like chat is saying, that nobody's happy. No one's happy. They can't even win in peace, bro. This team, they can't win in peace. They can't do anything. They miss a gajillion free throws down the stretch. Everybody was like equally trying to blow it. The Hornets with a fucking lane violation. Jimmy and Caleb just missing shit. Just all of it. Just all of it. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with the good. Kevin Love.
Sure.
Kevin Love. Tiff.
Okay.
Hey man, one person can go home and Kevin gets a ride in the front seat. Kevin gets shotgun on the team plane.
All right.
I mean, he fucking hooped. Yeah, what did he have? 19?
19, yeah.
He sure was moving out there.
He was moving.
Y'all, we gotta act like Kevin been playing well all year. Let's just be
Kevin hooping.
I mean, yes, he played well tonight, but let's just be realistic. Come on, guys. Kevin's played well all season. If anybody we can name that's been steady, it has been Kevin. I don't know if he got Lieutenant Dan's knees. I don't know what's going on, but he's found a little bit of youth. And I'm just going to say this. We wasting a lot of it. Like
they're not. They got the win today. Like today,
yeah,
wasn't wasted.
But I feel like, Bon, you know where I'm going. At some point, the salt and peppers and everything else gonna kick in. Kevin gonna remember he's 100 years old, and the body is gonna slow down yet again.
Oh yeah, it's just saltier from here.
Right.
You know?
Like we need this production all year. I feel like Kevin doing a lot.
Yes.
I don't want him to be doing a lot.
I want to step in there, and I'm going to defend them a little bit, which they don't deserve much of defending. They need that out of him right now because Bam's out. I think when Bam comes back in the lineup, he doesn't have to do as much. They don't have to depend on him as much. He's been steady for them as a backup 5 in his limited minutes. But when Bam comes back, like, you know, Bam's going to soak up whatever. Kevin's going to go back to playing 12, 15 minutes, and that's like the sweet spot. I mean, he's been playing
21.
like quite a – yeah.
I'd rather talk like we don't know when Bam is coming back. I'd rather talk honestly.
I've heard around Christmas what I've been told.
But we don't know. So let's not pretend like it's a hip.
Christmas.
It's a hip.
I was told around Christmas for what it's
right, but that doesn't even mean
that's another
80%. Like we don't know. So let's just shelve. Like let's be honest. Let's shelve that. Let's look at who.
Well, I mean,
got.
Tiff. Eventually, I mean, he's not gonna be out for the year.
That's
No.
7 games.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's a lot for Kevin to be giving us right now.
I mean, he's played 21 minutes and he's mostly spot up shooting. Like I don't know. I kind of think he's in like a fine role. Go ahead, Luke.
Both sides could be right because he's been doing too much, but at the same time, it is only 21 minutes. But at the same time, I feel like something is getting overlooked. Is maybe Orlando Robinson is serviceable enough to give him some DNPs every now and then. I guess maybe a little bit.
That's your takeaway.
Look, man, he can't jump over. He can't jump over
Gee.
2 credit cards stacked up next to each other, but.
It don't matter because he got
the long. He got the long arms.
To work around the rim.
He got the long arms.
He got a lot of things, huh?
He got
That's what.
Oh no,
Orlando Robinson has knees.
Yeah,
Listen,
he got 2 of those,
and he got a healthy hip right now.
I was gonna say, and he got a hip and 2 ankles. Damn, we looking good out there all of a sudden.
I don't know that it's even so like the Kevin Love thing. So yeah, it is only 21 minutes. And I genuinely understand that point. And it is a lot of like slip, pop, relocate, you know, those types of shots. It's the level of, I think, kind of like production that has been, you know, they've needed a lot of his production. And he's been great with it. And I'm not someone who expects it to like, I don't expect his production to, you know, like hit a cliff or fall off a cliff come later in the season, but it's just super less than optimal at the very least.
It sucks that they need his
that
19
they
points.
need, and that's what I'm saying. That's what
my
Tiffany is
thing.
saying.
But that's not
what
like
I'm saying.
But like
Well, that's not what.
Because like that's like a problem with like their overall makeup, not with like too much work for him. Because I just don't think like he's doing something that's like physically demanding. I don't think the kinds of baskets he's getting are like those like that's gonna wear on you. I mean, like I said, he's like cutting, relocating, spot up. He's not even doing a lot of the charge stuff, like at least this game, which I'm glad. He doesn't
but
have
it's that we need it all.
Yeah.
But
that's
more of an indictment on the team.
Oh no, it is.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
No, but I'm talking about like you're saying like Kevin's gonna break down, that he has to do too much. That's too much for his body. That's where I was pushing back a little bit because I didn't feel like that was super.
Kevin was breaking down when he was getting DMPs. It's bound to happen. Like regardless if he plays 10 or 20 minutes.
He is going to break down at some point because that's his body. He's at that stage now where he's going to go hard and then he's going to be done. He's going to go hard because this was all last season. He gave us 7 good and then 4 no-shows, 5 good, 3. Like that's his body. My thing is.
Tip to that one point. I do think he's in better shape. He's better acclimated this season than he was.
He looks thinner, and he looks thinner. I'll give him that. Like he looks physically better. But like we keep acting like there's not miles on that body, and you keep saying like because he's cutting, he's not doing. No, all those little turns put pressure on your body. Even though he doesn't play with the force that Jimmy does, we can't discount the fact that all the things that he's doing, the twerking, the moving, all those things do put pressure on your body.
What do you think like an ideal role then for him on this team?
I like him as the backup center.
That's what he's
behind Bam.
Okay.
Behind Bam, where he doesn't have to listen, where he might have to get 10 minutes and be good. especially into the
you don't want
playoffs.
Bam playing 38 minutes in the regular season.
Well, because I want somebody else to take a few of those minutes too.
But then
But
you're
who
playing
from
three,
the bigs?
Then you're
Orlando
playing three
Robinson.
centers. Like who's playing three centers? Like that's like seems.
We don't
excessive.
have to do what I don't like that who's doing it because we don't have to follow that.
I guess I just wanted to kind of follow where you were going because
like why couldn't you? Who's to say you couldn't play Bam 30 something? Orlando got 7. Kevin got whatever.
Stats department. What was Kevin's minutes when Bam was here?
I think Kevin's really good, and I think their minutes when Kevin's on the floor is really good, and I think that playing Kevin 15 minutes is like totally okay, even at his age. He's 35 years old. Like he could play 15 minutes of low impact basketball.
He could, but you didn't answer my question.
Well, why? Because that's not like playing Orlando. Why? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to maximize the minutes because they're really good when Kevin's on the floor. So I would like to stretch that out to, backup minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, which I think is like a really reasonable kind of area for him. Because like playing Orlando 7, and that takes too many guys out of rhythm. Because you're playing Orlando, 4 minutes in the first half, 3 minutes in the second half? Like, what's like, and I got to be honest with you, I've just not been like a big Orlando Robinson guy. Like, I'm like very mild on him.
So now we get to the root of it.
But that's not really the root. It's more like, even if you had like Kelly Olynyk, right? Like, what are you gonna play like Olynyk? 4 minutes in the first half, 3 in the second half. Like, bro, Bam sits, Kevin, and I think that structure to their rotation is important. Like, they're good when Kevin's on the floor because that gives them a pick and pop threat. They have like that kind of versatility to their lineup. Guys like to know who's like on the floor when they come in. Not right. They can't be playing 15 guys.
No, we're not I'm not denying Kevin's talent and what he's doing.
I know you're not.
I'm just saying, how are we going to preserve some of that?
I think 12 to 15 minutes is like fine.
You preserve it when he doesn't play. He's gonna miss games anyways.
Yeah,
it is what it is. You give him some rest and let Orlando play. He has to do what he has to do to keep this team above water, which is saying a lot about the team, not just their current state. Because I think this team is one of the more talented teams that they've put together. It's just the current state of their injuries and stuff like that. And I get that not many injuries are in that backcourt. It's only one. It just happens to be the most pivotal piece of that front court. Sorry.
I was gonna say Duncan Robinson's hurt.
No.
You better hope not.
Hey, we knocking on wood today.
Hey, listen, that guy's been special. Bond, you want to get a final word in before we pivot?
Well,
to some of the backcourt stuff.
I genuinely understand what both of you all are saying. I think that I lean a little bit more with you and Lou, in that I do think that it's important for them to have some stability with their rotations, and I do think that they've landed on what they feel kind of most comfortable with. I don't think that the way that he's going about his game is all that taxing on his body, even though there is tax that's going to happen, just kind of period, regardless. But I do understand Tiffany's overall statement of it's unfortunate that they need him to be, and it's a sentiment to construction, it's a sentiment to motherfuckers are always hurt. There's a lot of things that kind of go into that. It's just, I think that he can do it, but it's a shame that we do need this much from him kind of at this juncture, given given the aspirations of the team.
I don't really think that should be something we should be ashamed of as a team. I'm serious. Like, we need an offensive player to go out there and give us 20 minutes of good offense, and he did that.
Well, Lou, to your point, and I really want to move on because there's so much more to get to. 20 minutes of Kevin Love. They have 3 starters injured right now, and
that's more the point. That's where that's not shame.
No,
but
it's just
somebody has to step up.
Yeah, that's the key word. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't think we should be ashamed.
One night it has to be Josh. One night it has to be Caleb. One night it has to be Kyle. Because at this point, Duncan and Jimmy are consistent producers, and everybody else has to hey, who's going to contribute well? Our 3 starters. So let's move on because I think we also had to say about Kevin, and I want to get more into tonight. Josh had a rough game, and I know Tiff and Bond have some feelings about Josh. I agree with Bond. You tweeted out that he had struggled in the zone, particularly at the top tonight. Terry was cooking him. I like his point of attack defense. I know that you and Jablanca are more hard on him. And
Like
I
is a
had
strong word.
Alex Toledo came over to watch the game. He's doing 5 on the floor in my other room. We were talking about this during the game. He's talking to Brady, and I could hear them talking. I could hear Brady's voice, the deep ass voice. And I remember we were saying, like, we agree with kind of what you and John are saying about some of the point of attack stuff. I just think he's a good screen navigator, and I do think he's helpful. I just don't think he's like this like super stopper. But at the minimum, I think you're getting great production out of him. Tonight was an unfortunate like shooting night. Could not get anything. He can't get a ton at the rim, and he was taking a lot of like these weird contested mid-range shots that I know he's a good mid-range shooter this year, but I think that he needs to, when that's not working, he needs to find like a couple other things. So, Bon, I'll let you get the first word on it because I know you feel strongly about Josh, but he had a tough night tonight, and they kind of needed his defense on Rozier.
And that's, I think, a lot of where I've been. I've appreciated, some of his strong offensive nights, but he's supposed to be like this defensive calling card. He's supposed to be a defender before the other things. And I agree with you in that he is a slippery screen navigator. I think the issue comes in he's not often doing a lot of screen navigation. Like he's not often one pass, 2 passes away, getting put into the pick and roll and then having to navigate. He's a lot of times the very apex, like the head of what's happening defensively. And I've had struggles with his discipline all season. He gives you a lot of activity, but it's not composed. It's not structured well. His feet aren't great defensively. He takes a lot of like first steps the wrong way, a lot of leaning. I'm waiting for him to trip over his own feet because it's going to happen. And it's frustrating, especially like at the top of the zone. I don't want him at the top of the zone until he shores up some of those things, because the point of the zone is to be a shell with layers behind it to kind of buttress, each layer before it. But at the top of it is so easily penetrated, then you're compromising so much of the rest of behind it. He's frustrated me as a defender. I'm cool with, the spot up shooting. I don't like what he's doing in the middle third of the court. I don't like those kind of contested mid ranges you're saying, and that is from someone who loves the mid range as a shot. Like I am as pro mid range as I feel like you can kind of maybe get, but there's something about the way that he gets into it that I don't trust. And yeah, he frustrated. I'm not even talking about his offensive game. People struggle offensively. Like people are going to have their on and off nights offensively, but I've not been moved by him as a defender this season. Alf said it a few shows ago. The Russell Westbrook quote about Pat Bev, like Pat Bev be fooling y'all. Pat be doing a whole lot of this and not actually, into the business of defending. I think there's a little bit of pieces of there with Josh for me.
So Josh, by the way, for some context, and I did say that at the top of what I said, Josh is a very good mid-range shooter. He's shooting 54% on mid-range shooters. It's like he's like one of the best mid-range shooters in the league.
I'm cool.
He's very good at them. I want to be specific. I thought tonight his shot selection was a little bad. I thought he was trying to force it a little bit, which and Alex and I were talking about that today, Lou. Like they're I'm not anti mid-range, but I do think that he take way too many of them because they only take them because they can't get better shots. A lot of these guys, those are the only shots that they can get. Like Josh cannot get to Josh can't get to the cup, Bond. So Josh takes, and I don't have a problem with Josh taking the mid-range shots. He's good at them.
I feel like just because you can't get to the cup doesn't necessitate that the mid-range is a bad shot.
Like Tyler takes too many of them. Like I don't really like Tyler's diet of mid-range jumpers. I think he takes too many. Jimmy, I like when Jimmy takes them. I like when Jimmy gets a guy in the post. He takes that turnaround. Guys like that. I like when Duncan doesn't take a lot of them, but when he steps in the arc and he gets to that little pull up, I like that. I think Kyle's a good mid-range shooter, not having the best season this year, but historically he's a very good at that little turnaround from the elbow. He airballed one today. His back was all fucked up, but he shouldn't have played today, but they kind of needed the point guard help. Bam, I don't have a problem with. I think Bam takes a little too many, but that's fine. I think that's good that he just gets them up. So I just think that they have a couple guys that just take a few too many and they don't get to the cup or get to the line because like their problem is like
and that accumulates.
Lou, and I just thought tonight was a good example of that. Charlotte's not a good defense, and you should be able to break that down off the bounce. And really, Caleb was the only guy consistently getting downhill, and Duncan, which is just a funny sentence.
Yeah, Caleb was huge for them today because he's one of the few people on this team who has like first step quickness. I know we just came from Josh Richardson to Caleb, like to
No, I want to
Caleb
talk
Martin.
about the guards in general. Like,
No, I'm saying I know we went from like Josh Richardson who has like negative first step quickness. It seems like he can get by any closeout, and then Caleb, it doesn't matter if you close out, he's still able to at least get you to his hip, and then he'll work from there. But he was great today, man. He was getting to the cup, driving aggressive. The 3-pointer comes and goes, but it is what it is. You know what to expect.
he's up to 34% on the year, which is about
just cool.
That's like I think as long as you get to like 35, 36, that's like serviceable for them.
He started horrible. He started horrible.
He changed his release.
Josh, and Kevin started off really bad, and they've really brought it up.
Yeah, just Caleb, specifically that entire guard room today was just entirely saved, in my opinion, by Caleb Martin and Duncan Robinson, because they provided everything that Josh Richardson and Kyle Lowry couldn't provide, which was some kind of offensive punch, some kind of getting to the rim ability, which is, not ideal, I guess. But I mean, at what point is this the normal thing for like specifically for Duncan Robinson? At what point is this like it's too many times that every time I watch the game, I'm like Jimmy got the ball, passed it to Duncan. Duncan was trying to get it back to him, and Jimmy said, go ahead. And he drove by him, kicked it out to the Caleb 3. Like, I was like, what am I watching right now?
Kyle had a moment where he goes to Duncan, keep doing that. Like,
yeah,
like the lip, you use lip, like it's going at guys.
So we do know that this is the normal, right?
No, I agree with Tiff.
Okay, we have to like this is the normal because he's doing it every single night. If he did it if he did it the first 3 games and then fell off 4 and then came back, then we'd all be like, all right, whatever. This is the normal. Like,
the reason I say that, Tiff, the reason I say that specifically is because the last game they played against Cleveland, he got completely shut out of that game.
Well, but that's going to happen.
And I get that. And I get that. My point is, this year, when he gets shut out, it's not like it's a streak of games. It's one game, and the next game he's right back at their throats.
He bounces back, yeah.
Right,
and,
but that's what I'm saying.
Credit to Duncan, because he's been most improved player on the team by far this year. He should honestly probably get some votes in the league. But, it's not going to happen.
But this is the normal for the team. Like, we're talking about the guard room, but like Duncan is the guard room right now.
Correct. True.
Everybody else
want to be real.
Everybody else is just sprinkling on whatever they could sprinkle on. Duncan is the guard room right now. Everybody else is helping. Like we're at the point now where we got to stop being like, oh, Duncan can do. No, he's doing all the things that we were hoping he would do at some point. Like, it's here, it's present. What else what can everybody else do? Because now I'm looking at everybody else.
Tiff, to your point about Duncan, about like this is just it. It's the reason I feel it's real is because we know that he can shoot the ball, right? That's not his shooting ability has never been a question. But now he's added a pillar of his game that's more consistent, which leverages what he's already good at to create those driving opportunities. He was already a good passer. That has improved as well, and he could do it off the dribble. So that's been something that he's brewing for years. So if you put okay, I'm a pretty decent passer. I'm a very good shooter, and I'm a very good off-ball mover. Now that I've added this dribble, that's real because that came in the right order for a role player, I think, for like a guy with his skill set. It came, it's like
for his skill set. For some role players, it's reverse, but for what he does, it came
like Chris Bosh was reverse, right? Chris Bosh had like the other stuff, and then became more of an outside guy. But like Duncan, it's like, okay, I'm a tall guy. I think one of the things we don't talk about is his incredible stamina.
His great size.
His size and stamina, because he be running. He be getting steps in. It was like Gabe. We always talked about Gabe got his steps in because Spo had that poor man on the fucking press, all the time. Duncan gets his steps in, and he has the size and everything. So
he's been an exceptional defender this year for what was expected of him.
Exceptional is strong.
Exceptional is strong. Exceptional for what people thought he was going to be.
He's better.
He's better.
Man, he's survived. As a team defender, he's always been very, very good. It's just when I say because he's already been a very good team defender. He just couldn't stay on the court because he couldn't contain the soul out of a basketball. But now he is.
The host.
But I have a question, because Bond and I have been talking about this with Duncan for how many seasons, about adding all these little things, because we
Hashtag
thought
other-
it right, the other things, because we thought it was there, right? The other things are what allow Jimmy to look like he's putting minimal effort in. Like, the other things allow Jimmy to look stuck in mud but still give you 27 and 6 or whatever. Like, those are the things, the other things. So the way that Duncan is helping round out this starting lineup, like, this is there's nobody else on the bench right now that can give you what he's giving you.
Well, and tonight, Tiff, like, you see, they needed offense. They did not have an answer for him today. He was able to break guys off the dribble. Charlotte was in rotation all the time against his drives. He and Caleb, and I want to keep highlighting both of them. They were just getting in the teeth of the defense, and they both were kicking out the shooters, and Lord knows they miss a lot. But, you know, Kevin knocked down enough. You know, the guys knocked down enough to get them out of the building. But those guys were, I mean, Jimmy BS his way to 22 or 23, whatever he had. But, you know, those guys were the ones, like, really fucking fueling your offense for the entire game. It's crazy. On the road. That development, and we talked about that, I think, during the Brooklyn game, where, Bond, we were like, we both agreed that Spo should have experimented, that we kind of were annoyed with the kind of process that they did in the Brooklyn game. And I remember the thing I said was, if anything comes out of this game, I hope it's that at least Caleb got going a little bit, because he got to have the ball in his hand a lot, and he can kind of like soul search a little bit. And it would appear that might have helped jumpstart his play, because he's looked very good as of late. And I think
what I say about Caleb, and especially given the Brooklyn game, while I don't like the approach for the Brooklyn game, I think that, you know, as has been documented, I think we could have gone at that game just a little bit differently, or like a lot differently. But, you know, what it is, what it is. I think, though, that it was a Caleb pushing himself game. Damn, kind of whatever else happened in it, I think it was a lot of Caleb, I'm going to say his body. I think pushing his body to see what he can actually withstand, at least kind of in this stretch. We were talking about the Duncan progression and how it went from, you know, this knockdown shooter to someone who can put it on the deck and navigate other areas of the floor. Caleb has and is working himself from a slasher, first step, baseline rip type of devastating first step type of guy to someone who can give you serviceable spot up opportunities. And I think that that's really huge for him. And I'm still leery of the knee. I'm still leery of, you know, what that looks like later on. Tendinosis is degenerative. It is like, it's a pain tolerance thing. Like, what can he withstand? And I just at some point, I fear him not being able to, you know, kind of withstand some of it. But he has to at this moment. Tyler's out. Hamish is out. Bam's still out. And so I appreciate this stretch from him and pushing himself, and the way that he's looked genuinely. And of the two, like, I think on paper there's supposed to be some redundancy between kind of a Josh and Caleb. And I think that there is a little bit of redundancy between the Josh and the Caleb, but I think between the two, and it's not a shot at Josh, I think Caleb has, you know, just continued to submit himself in this rotation, and like as a guy who can be counted on, if not just in that lower corner of the floor, ripping and kind of getting to the basket, then as your spot up or some catch and shoot above the break stuff. So I've appreciated a lot of kind of what we've seen for Caleb, as much as I worry about how much longer are we going to see this much from him. That damn dunk he had, the breakaway dunk. So did y'all see the clip of whatever game that was? He like ripped baseline and gave that kind of like up and under little, and Jimmy was like, "Hey dude, you all right? You dunk the ball." No, that wasn't happening there.
Was that Chicago?
No,
one
I
of
think
these
I feel like
recent-
it was later. I feel like
It
it
was
was
one
a
of
little
these
later
recent
than
home games,
Chicago.
right? It was
It was.
like in this
I
home
feel like it
stretch.
was a little bit later though. But yeah, like, hey, dude, you feeling okay? Like, dunk the ball.
Oh, Cleveland. It was Cleveland.
This dunk today though, he got on the break and he dunked it. He ain't get too far off the ground, but like the land, he let himself like run it out some. Like that running it out was some like taking some.
But he's made
kind of
plays
off
at the rim.
joint.
Like
And
he's
he
making
has.
plays at the rim again,
But
which
he's
is like a
always made
good
plays
sign.
off the rim. Like
Right.
he's a
No,
great
yeah.
finisher. He's a
But that
great
kind of makes me
finisher.
feel better about
better
himself,
about it, right? So I
that
just
he's playing above
I
the
just
rim.
fear how much more he has
Right.
in him in this stretch. I'm certain that he'll have it towards the end and they'll rest him or whatever. But like we need him to be someone else. It's unfortunate that we need
Right.
this much. It was unfortunate that
Well-
we needed this much from Caleb last season, like in the playoffs. That was wild to me that we were counting on big.
But
Caleb
that, but
Martin
that
games.
again, that was a product of like Jimmy getting
Yes.
hurt. Yeah.
Yes,
And it's like,
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
I agree.
interesting. I think that like with Caleb, I don't care who's playing. I think you need Caleb, regardless of
I agree.
who's healthy
Yep.
or not, just
For
because of
sure.
his aggressiveness.
Yes.
The like his ferocity going to the rim. Nobody else on the team has that.
Yeah. No.
Like he goes without fear. He's the only one, and I don't care who's healthy or who's not. I just feel like he's so important, which is scary because
he's one of their best
Of-
A players. Like,
yeah, because
for
of his
sure.
knee. Like
Their best
For
weapon.
I'm
sure.
always worried about the knees with Caleb, but he's so important in my opinion. Like I just feel like moving forward, that little bit extra that he brings, you need that. Like
You do.
that's the shit that gets you in a game 7 over the hill. That little bit extra ferocity.
It did.
I-
It literally
No.
did.
It literally did.
literally did. And like I don't want to do trade shit like this, not to show to do that, but we were constantly in between this. Damn, like, is there a chance like package Caleb to get you? But like we've seen them use that extra that he gives them in all of these kind of like really important ways. And Leif had a tweet that was like, something to the effect of he'd said something about late or Caleb not being in the closing lineups a little bit later, but he's since then changed his mind and like no, they need what it is that he gives them, and they do.
Yeah, it's funny because at the start of the season, when I was looking at this team, I was like, damn, like, who can the Heat package in a deal to try to get somebody else? Theoretically, you said some overlap between Caleb and Josh. I was like, if Josh gives you 80% of what Caleb gives you, maybe you move on from him and try to get some better. He can't go nowhere.
He's not doing that yet.
Don't take him.
Caleb.
Caleb can't go
Yes.
nowhere. Please don't take him nowhere. Him and Jaime off the bench is exactly what this team needs, especially when the team gets back healthy. Them two off the bench providing consistent fucking rim pressure. I know Jaime played like 24 minutes because he Gordon Hayward is a vet and is a handful to deal with, and he got some ticky-tack calls. I thought he played good besides that, but like those two guys are pivotal to like taking the team, like you said, over a game 7. I think surviving without one of your stars doing anything in a playoff series, these two guys can just, I think they can win you a couple games personally.
The thing with the Josh and Caleb thing is like I don't think Miami thought that Jaime would be this good this fast.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I think that they envisioned playing Caleb a little bit more in the front court this year. And Jaime has been so good, and obviously Highsmith has been so good, and obviously you have Jimmy and Bam, that the front court minutes are kind of taken, and
Love.
three of them by guys
Kevin.
under 26. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, which is huge. And they're
Mhm.
like, well, then we don't need to play Caleb at the wing anymore. We could play him at guard, which I think they like, because ultimately
For
what they're going to do in leverage games is they're just going to switch 1 through 5 or most of it. And Caleb's going to be able to do that, right? They want to, that's where they want to get at eventually when they have to play Milwaukee, maybe not so much Milwaukee. Well, even Milwaukee, but really Boston, Boston and every team in the West,
Philly
as well, except for Denver. Even against Denver, front help, all that stuff, like that's and zone, that's what they do. But really, like, they want to get to a point where they can defend as many positions as they can with the guys. And Caleb has a little bit of redundancy with Josh. I think Caleb's just better than Josh, but I think Josh is also like, okay, I'm going to handle the ball. I'm in an innings eat, because they have a lack of ball handling. It's really just
it's scary. It's scary.
I think it's
they have to trot out a guy
blessing.
with back spasms because they're like,
Yeah.
RJ Hampton, can you get here in time?
But
No.
you ruined that man's what's today? Wednesday, Monday. You ruined that man's Monday. You called him up and you
Right.
didn't even play him. You could.
I thought he was gonna get some run.
Bro, Kyle, we watched. Bro, listen, you don't even have to like Kyle. You know that guy was not fit to play a basketball game. It was like,
RJ, why you calling
it's like
him
RJ,
in?
get in the Ava or Kyle has to again. Like,
This-
it's fucking crazy.
This team misses Drew Smith. Dare I say
Now
that?
why am I in it?
Now, why am I-
Saucy.
Listen, they miss Gabe Vincent. They have Gabe being sat in the locker room with the champagne.
Man.
I
Trying to
know you
fake
saw
turn
that.
up with LeBron.
Bring my man
Right.
home. Bring
Right.
him home, Andy. Bring him home.
He don't even want to be doing.
Max is happy. Tiff, I'm sorry. Max has a new girl.
No, Max
he's
is
happy. Yeah, Max is in a happy marriage.
He feels needed.
Gabe's
Appreciated.
not. Gabe
wants to spin a block.
he's
And
asking
the block wants
LeBron.
to spin him. The block should want to spin him.
Have you seen
I
how much
missed
he's
that.
been shooting
I
from
missed
three?
that full court press.
Please
Gabe?
get that whole thing back.
He's been. It's crazy how bad Gabe's been shooting from 3. 8%.
He's
I
been
love
out.
Gabe.
What are we talking about?
I'm
here?
just saying. I'm
Hey,
just
Lewis,
saying the stats.
7.1.
Damn,
Listen.
that's even worse.
7.1.
Look.
71 at the rim, though. 71 at the rim.
Hey,
I'll give my man.
I
that.
got him
love
on
Gabe
the
Vincent,
mid-range.
but
LeBron,
7.1% is
AD,
wild.
D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, like there's no space for that man to do the things that he can actually do. But that's another.
Anthony Davis shooting a
Gabe-
crispy
I'm starting
23%
Gabe
from
B.
3.
Very
Anthony
crispy.
Davis.
I can't stand the
Why are we
Lakers.
talking about the Lakers,
I
man?
can't stand that
I
dude.
can't
either.
stand Anthony Davis,
the
and I
Lakers
can't
out.
stand Austin Reeves. One of the most mid dudes on earth. Get out of here, bro. I'd rather have TJ McConnell.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
TJ real-
I'll
TJ,
take TJ.
real
Over,
hooper.
over Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves is a loser, bro.
Nah, TJ got a certain type of
Austin
dog. He
Reeves got
that,
made
Yeah,
fun of.
TJ got that. TJ could walk with me in the projects.
TJ got that golden retriever. In him. You know, golden retriever energy is a little Jan
You
6
sure about that,
energy.
Tiff? Tiff, I'd pay
Yes.
a lot of
I'm
money
ta-
to like watch
Listen,
TJ McConnell play basketball
listen.
in the hood.
I'm from the Midwest. I could point him out when I see him.
I guarantee you, I've seen TJ McConnell in the basement party
Man,
at LaSalle.
man.
Like he's been in Philly basement. Like TJ's cool.
Bro, you know
Shake
that
him up, shake him up.
we a long time ago when we were introduced to TJ McConnell in the Heat Sixer series, Alf insinuated that he looked like he frequented the Tiki Torch store. If you remember.
I said
What
he
was-
got some Jan 6 to him.
She said, where you been?
Retriever energy. You know?
That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, listen,
We could change him.
that's literally every guy that comes on the market. It's Heat fans being like,
It is. What is that?
"Smoke and fix 'em."
Right. What is that, G? Why do y'all do that?
What is
What y'all? I
that?
don't do that.
Spoelstra is just that good. Everybody, shit. Give him benefit of the doubt.
He's the best coach in the league. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
You know who he hasn't fixed? Thomas Bryant. And
So and bong.
Sometimes, you know,
Anthem.
you can only do what you can do. Okay.
You can only,
I would want, bro.
you can
It's like
you can
it's
only
like
do
a
so.
son.
Nah, it ain't like
It's
Hassan.
worse.
It is not.
It's worse.
I
than-
told. Listen, when we signed him, see,
Gee.
we both hit the listen. When we signed him, and somebody at me and said, "Your
I'm not
boy
at that.
Orlando ain't getting no minutes, Tiff, because we got
You
Thomas
stupid.
Bryant." I said to Bond, I said, "Have they not seen the Thomas Bryant
Are you
experiment
not
yet?
familiar with his game?
Are they not familiar?" And listen, no shot. Listen, the young man. Listen, do what you need to do. I get it. It's hard out there for a center,
Thomas
but
look old as hell. He's
but
a
gee,
young man.
I don't understand. I don't know what the tools were that they thought they were gonna get when they brought him in. Like I
He's-
need you to explain to
think
me
they-
that in 30 seconds.
What I don't get is they
Elevator
brought
pitch.
a
Thomas Bryant, go.
non-defense first guy in, but I think that they're like, well, pick and pop guy, innings eater, can score. Maybe we can score enough points with Bam on the bench. We put like Josh, Jimmy.
they're not even picking and popping
I
with
was
him.
about to, Lewis, but I ain't even seen him pop.
So
He-
that would have been what I
Only
thought.
thing
I mean,
Right.
Tiff, I was with you. They signed him, and I go, that's one of the worst defensive players in the league. I
What?
don't see this working out. And Orlando Robinson,
Child.
this is your job to lose, baby.
The only
Right.
thing that's been getting popped is the Heat leaves as soon as he steps in. He
Man,
can't.
what?
He can't. I thought they would at least hide him in the zone. He doesn't know how to hide in the zone. I think he
No.
They
literally
can't
just.
hide him. You
they
can't play
you
him at the
can't.
bottom forward.
Nope.
Can't play him at the center. He's not gonna.
Nope.
You can't
At
hide
least
him in
Deadman.
the
It's
We
so.
can make
It's so
jokes.
tough because I think
Dwayne Dedman
offensively he's okay,
greater than.
Yeah,
which isn't
yes.
which is fine. But defensively, oh my goodness gracious! Like at least Hassan blocked a couple shots, even if he was out of the fucking,
MIA.
if he didn't know where he was at.
Chat says he looked good in preseason. Bro,
Long time ago.
Long time
You
ago.
know, you know who looked good in preseason?
Preseason Rodney.
Do you know who looked good in preseason, guys? Pardon me here. Kendrick
Blanco?
Nunn looked good in preseason. I don't want to. That was one of the worst. I'm not.
Gerald,
don't get
I'm
me
with you.
Hold on.
Lou, I'm with you.
Kendrick,
I'm anti-Kendrick
won
Nunn.
Rookie
That
of
guy
the Year.
sucked. That guy
Sure, he
sucked.
won Rookie of the Year, and the year Tyler was drafted. I'm just saying.
He's a black hole on
He
offense.
didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he was the definition of you're not scoring, you're scoring.
Oh,
is
your
Kendrick
camera
Nunn.
just goes out. Your camera-
Wait, what?
What do you mean by
What do you
that?
about that?
Yeah, because he
It was a
would
black
like
hole.
he had
Who's
like
the black
negative
hole?
assists as a point guard. He was the Hassan Whiteside of point guards. He literally would never give the. He caught the ball. That
There
shit
you
was
go.
going up.
I
He
agree.
was the
Who-
most selfish
Wait,
player.
Wait, who are we
Point
talking
guard.
about? That's the black
Kendrick
hole.
Nunn.
Kendrick.
I hated that
Black
guy.
man.
Bro. What a
Black
shit
Kendrick?
attitude. He had a
Hmm.
shitty attitude. He was the worst. I hated that guy. I'm so glad.
Couldn't
he's gone.
shoot.
And I hope he never comes back to the NBA. People
Couldn't
like that shit.
defend. Couldn't
I
pass.
don't know where.
Can't
he's at.
defend. Would be like
Was a ball
just
stopper.
The way he
He
talked
was-
about his accusations were like
It-
abominable. I don't like that guy.
Look, I just focus on basketball. I don't care how he was as a person. He was like Deion Waiters, but undrafted.
Yeah, except
and-
Deion
and-
played hard.
Except
Deion
Deion
tried
passed the
hard.
ball when he wanted
And
to.
played
learned a
hard.
lot
And
about
Deion
y'all.
defended. Deion
I
defended.
Deion
Right.
Waiters. I
So you
love
don't care
Deion
about the
Waiters.
person.
I love Deion.
I'm
bro.
learning a lot right now.
No. Whoa.
You don't like
I'm
Deion?
saying I just
you don't
focus
like
on
Deion?
basketball. I like Deion.
You don't like Deion?
What's
I
wrong?
love Deion.
What's wrong with
Keep
Deion?
it
wrong
up,
with Deion?
Saucy.
What's wrong with Champ Cheese?
What's up
Let me
with
tell you
what's with
something.
Deion Waiters?
I'm gonna
We
tell
ain't
if
talking about
they
Deion.
had Deion right now.
We talk about
Deion,
Lou.
If they had
I don't
Dion
even
right
know
now,
what he did.
guess what?
Oh no, he wouldn't be
JJJ
playing.
be high somewhere if they had Dion right now.
Shit.
wait.
Yeah.
Give Jaime, Jaime
Jaime
be on
would
the
not
boat.
see the ball. Jimmy
Jaime-
would not. Hell no.
He
Jimmy
wouldn't
ain't
because he'd be
playing
too
with Deion.
high. He'd be
Jaime-
too high.
Jaime be on the boats,
hey,
man.
don't say that about Champ Cheese.
Jaime was so smooth in the club.
My
What was his
God.
name?
That All-Star
Deion
weekend.
Waiters' nickname was Kobe Wade, and he was funny. I met him.
Kobe
He was
Cheese.
hilarious.
I
Hilarious.
guess. I don't know.
Deion was so fun. I'm gonna be honest with you. Deion was so fun to cover. That was the season I was credentialed. He was the best, bro. He was
Huh.
hilarious.
7-Eleven,
Yeah.
baby, always open.
7-Eleven. Oh, I love 7-Eleven. I miss Gogi.
So are we closed now? Like what's
I
happening?
opened the ESPN page for today. It said
Mhm.
Duncan Robinson leads balanced heat attack.
Is that what they're calling it?
How
That's
did
what
we
they
get
calling
here?
it.
Is that
Yo,
what they call
that
it?
should be
Yeah.
the title of this, G.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson leads balance attack.
Duncan
then I'm
Robinson
gonna do-
leads
yeah.
balanced scoring attack.
Yes. Y'all know what? It's Duncan
But no,
team
for real.
now.
No, you look at the score. 20. Duncan had 24. Jimmy had 23. Caleb had 20.
Five people had 18 or
Evan
more.
had 19. Jaime had 18. It
Balance
was
attack.
balanced.
I'm not trying to
Duncan
tell
is the
tales
lead.
outside of school, but it's Duncan team now.
How did
It's
we get
Duncan.
here? Look at us. Shout out to
It's-
Al.
how do we?
At what
Bond, look at us.
Look at us. Who'd have
we
thought?
gotta have a conversation if Duncan's doing what Tyler's doing, just better. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't do it.
Hey,
Don't do it.
Maybe you'll catch that tomorrow as Brian Goins makes his return.
Don't do it.
To Miami Heat beat. Pod on
Free
Tuesday.
Kevin Love.
Free Kevin Love. See y'all tomorrow.
Pepper.
Free Kevin Love.